All right, this video is reviewing writing and solving linear equations in preparation for our test that we have coming up. To get started, we do need to define expression and equation. Students in class have already had a chance to work on this in advance, so they're ready to raise their hand and tell me, what is an expression? Allie? Although that is true, I want just a little bit more. So you're not wrong, but give me more. What's in a math sentence? What does a math sentence contain? So yes, it's a math sentence containing what? Kaden? Close. Numbers. It could also have variables, because in math we use variables. So numbers, variables, and operations. The operations relate the numbers and variables. Maybe we're adding them, multiplying them, dividing, subtracting, etc. So what is an equation then? What is an equation? Berkeley. Yes, and I want just a little bit more. I know that's what we said in a previous video, but that was just like the very, very, very most basic. But you guys know a little bit more. So it's a math sentence with an equal sign. Why would it have an equal sign? Brighton? You're telling me what we do with equations, but you're not defining it. So it's a math sentence with an equal sign that shows, Berkeley, we're just going to add on to what you said, that shows it's balanced with another math sentence on the other side. In other words, you've seen this lots of times, an equation is an expression equal to an expression. So yes, it has an equal sign, but even just saying 2x minus 7 equals, that's not an equation. It needs to be balanced with something else on the other side, like an 11. Now it's an equation because it's balanced with something else. Does that make sense, Berkeley? Just adding to what you said. Okay, now that we have that in mind, you're going to see each of these say solve each equation, but let's tie that into our definitions from previously. Yes, I'm solving the equation because I have an expression that's equal to and balanced with another expression. This expression is nice and simple. We don't have to do anything with that. But this expression, this side of the equal sign, has a lot going on, and we have to simplify that first. Just like this, a simple expression equal to an expression that has a little bit more going on. So we've got to take care of the one that has a little bit more going on and simplify it. So I'm going to let you guys work on these. I'm going to show as many as I can here in the video. And then there is going to be an answer key posted in Canvas after. So when you go home tonight and you finish everything, you can check your answers in Canvas. So we're going to go through as many of these as we can in the video. Notice that there's also some stories because this is a review for not just solving, but also writing equations. So I have a story and I need to be able to write the equation. Pause the recording, give yourself a chance to go through some of these on your own, and then we can check some answers together. Pause the recording now. Okay, the first one that I'm going to do on the recording is number 3. Remember, we're simplifying the expression part first, and then we're going to treat it like an equation and solve it. But I have 9 positive x tiles here and 2 negative x tiles here. So I know that I can combine those like terms. It still is a good habit to change your subtraction to adding a negative. That way it makes sense why we can just pick up these negative tiles and move them over here to join these positive tiles. When I do that, I end up with 7x tiles plus a negative 12, which is equal to and balanced with a negative 19. Math practice 6 is attentive precision. Don't lose your negatives. That is going to be a big deal. Make sure you're being careful with your negatives. I have negative 12. That's 12 negative unit tiles, which I know I can zero out by having 12 positives. So I'm going to add 12 to each side, knowing that that zeroes out that right there. And I'm left with 7x tiles, which is equal to, if you're careful with your negatives, negative 19 plus 12 is equal to negative 7. Divide each side by 7 now, and we have x is equal to a negative 1. Number 5 is next. Again, I see subtraction, so I'm going to change that subtraction to adding a negative. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have 5 groups of what's going on here. So if I have 5 groups of 4x, you can think about that, even if you don't draw it, 4x, 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 4x. So that means I'm going to have a total of 20 x tiles. And 5 groups of -7. 5 groups of -7. Again, count it out if you need to. -7 here, -7 here, -7 here, -7 here, -7 here. I'm not drawing it, but I'm still visualizing it, and I see that that's going to be -35. Another way that you can do that is just quickly, 5 groups of 4x, that's 5 times 4. 5 groups of -7, that's 5 times -7, which is -35. All of that equals -155. Again, I've got some negatives here. I'm going to undo those negatives or zero out those negatives by having 35 positives. Balance it, same thing on the other side. And now I have 20 x tiles, which is equal to and balanced with -155 plus 35. Make sure you're careful with your negatives. And if you're careful with your negatives, you're going to get -120. So then I divide each side by 20 to get x all by itself. And I get, check your answer, x is equal to a -6. So you can see that 4 is like number 3. Even easier, actually. 6 is like number 5. Even easier because we don't have subtraction and we don't have negatives. So I'm leaving you the easy ones to do on your own. 7 and 8 are very similar, but I'm going to do number 8 because everyone's freaking out because there's a fraction, right? So I'm going to do the harder one, leave you the easier one. What does this really mean? Well, it really means I have 1/2 of a group that's 12x plus a -4. And then I've got, don't forget, plus a -2x after that. If I have half of a group of 12x, what's half of 12x? How many x tiles do I really have? Emily? Close. 1/2 of 12. Gavin? 6 x tiles, yep. Plus, if I have 1/2 of -4, half of -4 is -2. That took care of that half of a group. But we still have this on the end, the plus a -2x, which is equal to 30. Now we have 6x tiles and a -2x tiles. So again, if I'm just going to move those around, you can see we're going to have a couple of 0 pairs and 4x tiles left. Plus a -2, which is equal to 30. And again, I have -2, which I'm going to zero out with a +2. And now I have 4x is equal to 30 plus 2 is 32. Divide each side by 4. And we have x is equal to 8. Wasn't too bad, was it? And again, I've left the easier one for you. 7 is a little bit easier. We don't have a fraction. We do have some negatives, so we want to make sure we're careful with that. Let's take a look at number 9. We've had problems like this before. Remind me, how do we find an average? How do we find an average? Marley. Exactly. Add up all the numbers, divide it by how many numbers there are. What did she get on her first quiz? So I'm going to add that up. What'd she get on our second quiz? 92. We're going to add that up. What'd she get on our third quiz? 75. What did she get on her fourth quiz? X. Yeah, we don't know. So, X. How many numbers am I adding up together? 4. So we divide it by 4. What is her goal? What does she want it to be equal to? 80. Can you solve that equation? Of course you can. Simplify it first. 54 plus 92 plus 75. I don't know, so I hope someone has that ready to go for me because I don't know. Emily? Sounds good to me. 221 plus x, but I simplified that first part, but all of that is still divided by 4, right? Now it's equal to 80. I need to undo dividing by 4. Berkeley? Yeah, and what happens when I multiply this side by 4? Yeah, zeroes out, but I have to balance it. What happens when I multiply this side by 4? What do I get? Good job. 320, which is equal to, and balanced with, 221 plus x. You know the final step. Subtract 221 from each side. And that means x is equal to, Gavin, 99. So what does that really mean? Selena must score 99%. Okay, and looking at these ones, 10 through 13, they get a little bit more tough. You just have a few more steps. I want you to be careful with number 11. We're going to do that one together right now. Do you see the subtraction? Change it. Negative 9 minus 2 is negative 9 plus a negative 2 times 3x plus 5. Now we think about what that means. We have grouping symbols, but I realize I can't combine x tiles and unit tiles, so those grouping symbols must be there for a reason. Why are they there? Because we have groups, right? We have multiple groups. So I need to take care of that next. And if I have negative 2 groups of 3, or in other words, negative 2 times 3, that's negative 6x. But I also have negative 2 groups of 5, or in other words, negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10. I was adding before, so I am going to be adding still. That just took care of that. What do we still have over here on the outside? Negative 9 plus, right? And it's still equal to negative 61. I want you to understand how important that is. You might be tempted to do this subtraction first, but we can't do subtraction until we've taken care of multiplication. That multiplication has now happened. So now I can combine like terms. And if I have negative 9 over here and negative 10 more over here, I have a total of negative 19 plus a negative 6x is equal to a negative 61. This could be confusing. Plus a negative, how do I undo that? And we just need to remember, hey, wait a second, if we have negative tiles, we zero them out by having positives. So add 19 to each side. And we end up with negative 6x is equal to negative 61 plus 19. CJ? Negative 42. And now we're ready to divide each side by a negative 6. Being really careful with those negatives, I end up with x is equal to a negative 42 divided by a negative 6 is a positive 7. Again, you get to finish 10, 12, and 13 at home for homework. We have time for one more. I'm going to let you decide. Originally you said 14. Have you read through 15? Which one do you really want me to do? I only have time for one. Let's take a vote. Who wants to do 14? Who wants to do 15? Yeah, that's what I thought. Triangle ones really aren't so scary, are they? Not really? Okay. I have given you lots of hints. What's up? Not this one. Nope. Similar. We've done lots similar, but not that one. Anytime we have a story, the key to success is setting up little expressions first. So as we read through this, we're going to be setting up expressions before we try and turn it into an equation to solve. Your grandmother is planning her budget for Thanksgiving dinner. She knows a turkey is 5 times the cost of a pie and a package of stuffing is $2 less than a pie. Grandma's buying all this stuff, but let's not worry about what she's buying yet. We have stuff to relate. She knows a turkey is 5 times the cost of a pie, so it looks like I'm going to have turkey. I'm going to have pie, and I'm going to have stuffing. So a turkey's 5 times the cost of a pie, right? Do I know the cost of a pie? No. Could I call it X? And if I call pie X, what's turkey going to be? Please think about what you're saying. 5 times the cost of a pie. Is it really going to be 2X? Is it really going to be 3X? If it's 5 times the cost of a pie, it's going to be 5X. Thank you. And stuffing is $2 less than a pie. How do I show $2 less than a pie? CJ? Not just minus 2. Negative 2 means that we get $2 back. What does it really mean? It's $2 less than a pie. What is a pie? So X minus 2. That's a pie less $2. Okay. This is your key to success. And now, let's write our equation. What did Grandma buy? Grandma's going to buy 1 turkey, so that's going to be 1 group of 5X, or just simply 5X. What else is Grandma buying? 3 pies. That's 3 groups of 3X, 3 groups of X, so just plus 3X. And she's buying 2 packages of stuffing. So plus what? Just 2x. Try again. Close. 2 groups of x minus 2. We need to be careful and make sure we're putting that x minus 2 in a group. When she buys all of those things, what's it going to cost? About 46 bucks. I'm not doing any more for you. 1, because we're out of time, and 2, because I think you can handle it from here, right? Okay. Anything you did not complete in class is homework, and yes, I am expecting you to complete it all in preparation for your test. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.